start this back up again. Go in here. I think I set my IP address right. Okay. Yeah, we're good now with the. Oh man. Oh, crush that. Okay. Alright. Device discovery tool. Now everything should pop up, even the touch panel, even though we haven't given it an IP address.
Okay.
Because that's connected D with the 3-wire to the DM switch. Okay, so see, we got the DM 8x8, right? We got the room scalers, which are 1, 2, 3. Those are the 3 at the projectors. Then you got the TX201Cs, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the touch panel. This is the one that we set right here, the DVPHD. Then you got the control system, which is the Pro 2, and you got the V. Yep. So it's all there. Sweet.
Cool. So now you can do some programming.
Now we're gonna do. Now we're gonna load some program, right? So I got this email from Jeremy Vierk, right, the programmer, right. And this has these files. So I saved those to my desktop, and there's still a couple things we got to do. We got to set IP table entries, and we've got to make sure that the DVPHD is outputting the right resolution for this, which, let's see, it says it in here what it's supposed to be. Okay, here we go. Aspect ratio 1280 by 768 for the B15. So what we want to do then, if that's the resolution, we can do this a couple different ways. The easiest way is to go to the front panel and change the resolution. You hit menu, enter, display output, auto HDMI, we're going to turn that off, save, and then output resolution, see right now is 1920 by 1080, which is we want 1280 by 768. Hit enter. Okay, so that current output of this device is 1280 by 768. Alright, so that's good. Now we're going to go, and this is the file that Jeremy sent with all the Crestron code in it, right? You see that this is a compressed file, right? And normally what you do is, like, uncompress the file, but if it's a Crestron compressed file, it's actually an archived file. And you can watch this video again so you'll remember how to do this. But what we have to do is open simple windows, and it's going to take a minute to load, so I'm just going to hit pause on the recording. Okay, so when you open simple windows from the start menu, or if it's not right up there, it's going to be all programs, Crestron, simple windows. Okay. Then if you're not open in the existing file, this is going to come up first. What you want to do is import archived program, and you're going to select that program that you just pulled from your email, which mine is right here. Start, yes to all, and it's going to load that. Okay, now we have the Crestron Simple Windows file open. That's going to help us with the next step. First step now is we're going to load this code to the processor. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I've already got Windows discovery device, or Crestron Toolbox device discovery. I'm going to select the Pro tool. Password, what is it? We got to get the password from them. Usually it doesn't have a password, but they. Okay, so asterisk GSB 4 capital V asterisk. Let's see if that gets us in. That did it. All right, so now first thing we want to do is we're going to load the new program, right? So program, and then this window will come up. You want to browse for the code that you're looking for. I put it on the desktop, so it's right there. SPZ file, and send the code. Overwrite the. Oh, hold on a second. There's one thing we need to check here. This is kind of a weird situation, what we're doing here. Let's check the IP table entries. Okay. You got a pen? Can I borrow that real quick? So the IP table entries that they have in here are 03, which is probably the touch panel, 10, and 24. 24 is 135.215.30 IP addresses, and 10, I can't remember what 10 is going to be, because there's two things. Oh, 10 is the is going to be the Crestron room view. Both of these things apply to what they do in that room down there. 24 is so that they can control the camera with their software. It's kind of a complicated little thing, but we need to know that before we erase everything off of this processor. So, all right, let's update the firmware because the firmware is out of date. So we're update the firmware on the Pro 2, and then we'll be good to load code to it.
Got any other equipment in there?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna take this to them. See if they want this odd many cords and things. They may not.
Programming, racing and programming firmware.
Well, my right place.
What was it? Alright, sweet. So we have the new firmware, right? Loaded to it. So now we can load the new program. Okay, you pick the one that you want to send. It's gonna create a new IP table entry, which is okay. And then I'll show you now the next thing after we're gonna load this one. There's two programs. There's a program for the for this, and then there's a program for the touch panel. So after you load those two things, then you get the IP table entries going. And we're gonna find what the IP table entries are from the program, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so that's good. Alright, now let's go to DVPHD, and we need a first. Let's do this. I'm going to create new folder, call it C04, and then I'm going to move all this stuff to that folder. Okay, now this is the interfaces, and this is just a regular compressed folder, so we need to extract all. You know, it's not a Crestron folder, it's just a Are you familiar with doing that? Okay, well, like a lot of times you can compress a folder, and you can do it to any folder. So if I right click on it and send to compress zip folder, that makes it a smaller size and easier to send into an email. So the programmers are pretty much always going to send you your files in a zip folder. So
instead of a PDF?
Yeah.
Which sending it in a PDF would save time.
Well, no, it's not the same as a PDF, because a PDF is just a document, but we're talking about actual, program. So what we want to do first is we have to open up this one, and we're going to have to compile it. Everything you do in Crestron software, when you're creating it, whether you're creating a touch panel or you're creating a program, has to be compiled to a condensed version that gets loaded to a device. So right now that's this. You do that by hitting F12 when you're working on a program or whatever. You hit F12 and that compiles it, or you can do it from the drop down menu on file, and it'll automatically want to upload it. But right in this case, because we're using device discovery tool, we're going to cancel that, close that out. See, then it created this little guy here. It's a VTZ, which is exactly what we want. And we want to do the same thing with this. This is the X panel. That was the other thing I was thinking of. F12 that. Ideally, they should send you code that's already compiled, and ideally, they wouldn't even send you the actual code. They'll send you the compressed thing, the VTZ file.
So it's already done for you?
Yeah, ideally, And this is taking a while. Yeah, so then when you do an X panel, it creates a folder like this, and you're going to need that, and I'll show you how you use that. So go back here, we're on the DVPHD, we're going to load the display project, browse, and I put it it's in interfaces, this one, open, send. going to take a while to reboot. So I'll pause this really quick. Okay, so that loaded, rebooted. Now we're going to go back to the processor and the password, which I can web projects. Click on web projects, select folder, and it's going to be desktop interfaces. That's that folder that we created when we compiled that X panel. We're gonna send that. We're actually gonna have to edit this, but for right now, this is gonna work because we're actually just sending. That's right. These I had to get flash cards. I had to buy it last time when I did these rooms because the new X panels, the processor doesn't have enough internal memory for it, so we're not going to be able to do that right now. So I need 2 flash cards. We're going to have to go to wherever we need. Okay, now we're ready. I hope I'm not blowing through this too fast.
It's on video.
Okay, exactly.
As long as it's going again.
Now comes the last piece to the puzzle for Crestron. It's IP table entries, right? This is the Crestron code, right? This top folder, central control modules, Ethernet. The only place that the IP table entries are at are in stuff that's communicating over Ethernet, right? So you're gonna find them in here. IP ID 3 is the DVPHD, right? So let's start there. We go to the DVPHD right here. We go to modify IP table entry, add entry. ID 3, it comes up automatically 3, but you set it to whatever it was and you find it in the code, right? So that's 3, and we're going to type in the IP address that we gave the processor, because that's what it needs to talk to, right? 192.168.1.120, and click OK. Then we highlight that and send to device.
Can you give it differently?
What's that?
Processor. Can you give it
120.
Starts at 120.
Yeah.
Did you give it 135?
No, that was the touch panel.
Oh yeah.
Man.
I'm scared to move. I know it's gonna hurt. And it's got to reboot every time.
Yep. That's why it takes a while to do this stuff. You gotta have some patience and just let it do its thing, you know. I'm just gonna pause this recording while it's rebooting. That's good. Now let's check out what our next IP table entry is. Look, the VPG15, right, is IP ID 4. So let's go to the VPG15. And we're going to go advanced. Because it won't let us do it there. But if you click advanced, this normal window will pop up. We're going to add entry, IP ID 4. IP address of the processor.
So you're gonna make all of them talk to the processor.
Exactly. Because that's what they need to communicate with, because that's where the program's at. Then the X panel is 5. Room view is 10. Remember we pulled 10 off the old one?
Yeah.
And this one is 25, but really it should be 24 for this room. This is different for every room. That Ethernet and inter-systems communications, that's going to be different for every room. This is the only job so far at SKC that we've even had this in it. So you normally won't even have to worry about that. Okay, so that's done. Alright, so let's see who's online. Everyone's online. Okay. GSB 4B. Okay. I'm going to show you something really quick. I'm going to show you how the DM switch. That's what we're missing here. DM 8x8 is on 40, right?
So you didn't have to do like 10, 25 and...
No, not yet. We'll get to that later on, because we just need to see if this room works. That's kind of has to do with communicating back to the head-end room. So IP-ID 40. So let's go up here to the 8x8 and modify table entry. IP-ID 40. Okay, that's going to take a minute to reboot. Okay, that's good. Whoops. Didn't actually want to do that. Let's check the control system and see what. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you is how to turn off the password on that thing. See, we got 11 online, and there's 13, 2 of which belong to that system down there, the room view and the camera control. So we're not worried about it. That means everything's online, so we're good. Quickly, while I still got the video rolling, I'm going to show you how to take the password off. Right? We're going to close this out. We're going to open up this guy right here, which is text console. That's where you do a lot of like basic commands to devices, and we're going to go connect to processor 1, which is the IP address that I have set, as 120 GSB 4. Okay. Pro 2. Whoops. Okay, help all, and then let's see. These are all the commands that you can do for this device, right? In command prompt, or they call it text console. So let's password. Set console password is just password. So we're gonna go back here. We're gonna go password. Alright, password protection disabled. So I just typed in password. That gets you into the commands that you need for password. I just hit enter because I don't want anything in there, right? that just cleared it out. So now if we go back to device discovery, and then we can put it back in there the same way, you know. Go down here. Now this will just pop right up. So that's it.